har gjort en hel del.
PTVEU, oberoende, piratistisk media, skapad och finansierad av tittarna.
PTV, statarjävlar för statarjävlar.
It is Wednesday, the 25th of November 2020. Here we are, just minutes away from Manhattan, in the middle of the little Kungsholmen in Stockholm.
In the little Kungsholm.
In the little Kungsholmen in Stockholm. Today, we will talk into the English language. And we're gonna do some EU news. We'll talk among a lot of things, I hope, but in front of all, or perhaps first of all, these stuff. Europe was the largest contributor to the new COVID-19 cases. Europe takes the lead since a while back. At the same time, Sweden is the worst in the world. So yeah, we are in the worst place, in the worst region, everything the worst right here, right now in Sweden. Europe is shit, Sweden is the worst.
Understand how bad we are.
We are so bad that it doesn't even compare. At the same time...
Do you know what Swedish meme you refer to there?
Mio?
Meme.
Okay, we'll take it later. Xi Jinping sends congratulations to US President-elect Joe Biden. At the same time as the right wing is continuing their eternal meltdown. As you know, at least the transition process has begun. And more and more of the Republicans and the Fox News, etc., are trying to kind of get them to understand that it's over. It's kind of fun to watch. And France is to apply a digital tax on online tech giants despite US retaliation threat. Good on you, France. Not bad at all. And South Korean watchdog fines Facebook $6.1 million. Nothing really. For sharing user information without consent. This and a whole lot more in today's show. Let's jump back into our main view here and turn down the volume of the music just a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. Oh my god, this is wrong. This is all wrong. Everything is wrong. It's broken. There we go, though. Beautiful. Hello, Otto. How are you today?
I am fine, thank you. I'm trying to locate some news that I read the other day, though, so I might be a bit discerned.
No problem. No problemo at all. Trust me, I have a lot of news. A lot.
Yes, but I have something important. Just found it. Sorry.
Okay.
Send it to you privately. It's
oh my god.
yeah, it's a Kampagne gegen ein Verschlüsselungsserverbot.
Okay.
I don't know what that it means, but that's probably very badly pronounced German. But this is short. Today is the last day to save encryption because government are trying to dismantle encryption.
No shit.
They can imagine it's bad.
Yeah, but isn't the fight already over?
No, because today is the planned resolution in the Permanent Representative Council.
Okay.
So today is the last day to contact the people responsible for it. Unfortunately, Sweden has, well, I believe it's Ylva Johansson in Sweden.
Oh my god.
No, actually, I have the names here. Karin Fällman, Marlene Holzner, I can actually read the title as well. Karin Fällman, Head of Civil Society Corporation from SIDA. Marlene Holzner, Head of Unity for Civil Society Organizations and Foundations at the European Commission. Devko Sasha Gabizon, Executive Director, Women Engage for a Common Future. Alan Atkinson, Director, Department of Partnership Innovation. And Hans Lind, Senior Advisor, we effect.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they've been an ongoing onslaught on this for a while now. But we've been talking about it. I mean, we've even listened to Ylva Johansson, I guess it's her, explaining why it's so important that you shouldn't be able to have any privacy at all anymore. I mean, it just opens up for so much abuse. And it's incredible. And it's so sad. It's just really sad to see this constantly. It just doesn't get any form of space. I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand why we want to build an authoritarian type of watch everyone kind of, like this type of society.
Wouldn't it be nice? You don't have to worry. You can go to your job every day and come home and sleep and go back to your work and, well, oh fuck.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know what they expect. I mean, it's like, do you understand that there are right-wing parties that are taking over, right? I mean, you get that. I mean, these are people who are liberal social democrats, kind of voting for this, who are supposedly, for an open democracy, for the right of individuals, just the idea that you are innocent until proven guilty. It's crazy. After the attacks in Vienna, the EU Council of Ministers agreed with a very short time on a resolution which, while stressing the importance of encryption, also calls for a way to break it. In practical terms, this means that all operators of digital services, websites, or messenger apps must have a master key.
Wow.
I mean, it's just like asking like opening up a huge security hole. And what does this mean for stuff, for instance, such as blockchains? Are you just like gonna illegalize all of that shit? What's gonna happen? How are you even gonna do it? I mean, maybe the positive thing is that people are just gonna move off or anything that is any form of a major platform for their secure messaging. And there's gonna be continue to be companies that break these rules because, I mean, obviously, like with anywhere else, I'm supposed to be able to have a conversation with you, for instance, without the government listening. And I should be able to feel safe that no one but you, who are the intended recipient of the message, are listening. And I should also be sure and feel safe that there's no fucking master key somewhere that someone could hack or use, or that the companies would use them to spy or gather data unnecessarily, right? I don't believe this shit. It's crazy. And, I mean, we've seen so much during the corona pandemic of this shit. I don't understand. I don't understand what... I mean, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind also to see so many people who used to be liberals, go like, well, I have nothing to hide. And, look at internet, what has happened. There's so many people who've gone right-wing because of internet. Internet is tricking them. They are now stupid racism. I mean, it's just like, no, it's your liberal politics. Yeah, you've been doing that for 30 years. It didn't work out too well. I mean, just, hello. A lot of that shit, it didn't actually make the life better for a whole lot of people. Yeah, sure, internet is, accelerating things, but it's just like a way for them to not have to deal with the shit they created. A way for them to not have to, look at themselves in the mirror. While the right wing says, oh, the problems are the immigrants, most other parties go, the internet is the problem. Or the Russian bots. It's the bots online. That's the problem. They're misleading the people.
Yeah.
Dude, why did you have to bring that up?
Yeah, but because it's important.
Well,
all the information you need is on the link privacyisnotacrime.eu.
Yeah, I will link it.
You can have, privacyisnotacrime.eu. And I am, as a dystopic, I don't think that anything will be changed, even if everybody in Sweden would call the Swedish Commission, especially now that it's a bit late in the day, so it's probably too late. But remember these names when next election comes up.
Yeah, I mean, these are politicians that we need to help.
Next election, no, stop. I'm not done ranting. Next election is not going to be about voting pirate. Next election is going to be getting your friends, your parents, your children sometimes, but get the people around you to vote pirate. If we don't, that's going to be another 4 years of increased fascism. And I mean, a camera on the wall, it doesn't sound like the end of the world. I know it, but believe me, the road that it's leading to is going to be a lot darker.
Yeah.
The Man in the High Castle is a series, if you like the dystopic views on things. It's both on books and on series. It's a series, what would happen if the Nazis won the Second World War. Have fun with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, it's such a way to not have to deal with anything, to again just blame, deflect. I think we should look at this just because it's crazy.
Breyer is connected.
I will share my screen. This old goody.
Go. Go.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner, your so-called security strategy has unfortunately turned out to really be yet another surveillance agenda with a potential comeback of indiscriminate data retention, with plans to seek to break encryption. And there's no word on cleaning up the mess your past surveillance agenda
Notera att det här var liksom plans to... Det här var... This was before when they were just talking about the plans to do this.
has created. You know, opening infringement cases to stop data retention legislation, revisiting the disproportionate PNR directive, adapting the terrorist content online proposal to the recent French Constitutional Court ruling. No talk on that. And now to protecting children. In a situation where we lack awareness regarding child sexual abuse, where we lack resources for preventing it and offering therapy, where we lack capacities in law enforcement that is completely overloaded even with the existing cases, your first proposal, seriously, is to indiscriminately and generally monitor, intercept, and search all of our private communications. Don't you understand that pushing criminals underground to secure, direct, encrypted communications channels will make prosecuting them in many cases impossible? So how dare you call e-privacy a mistake and make such an appalling proposal that is counterproductive, that threatens the security of communications and devices, and that diverts capacities from what is
Okay,
really
please,
needed.
fair enough, Patrick, fair enough.
Yeah, and also to Mrs. Breyer, I will not accept that there is a contradiction between fighting serious crimes like child sexual abuse and respect the privacy. I do not accept that kind of contradiction.
There, yeah, so, I mean, it's unbelievable. Now, I mean, they have done all of that shit. Now, I mean, this proposal, the way they've done this is that they're doing all of the shit, all of the worst kind of shit, and it's all, you know, either based on the ideas that, oh my God, look at the kids. And as I said, I mean, what are they going to do with all of these cases? I mean, how is this going to help anyone? And in what way? Why? It's crazy. It's just insane to do this. And the defense here from Ilves is just horrible. I mean,
not accept that there's a contradiction.
Yeah, let's listen to this. I mean, this is
No, contradiction. What was she saying actually?
I mean, it's the stupidest. I mean, look, listen to this.
Yeah, and also to Mrs. Breyer, I will not accept that there is a contradiction between fighting serious crimes like child sexual abuse and respect the privacy. I do.
It means motsägelse, according to me and Google.
Yeah, contradiction. She honestly don't. I mean, it's so stupid that I don't even know.
It's not even correct. She's not saying anything.
No, she's literally saying that. Well, I don't accept that there would be a contradiction between law enforcement enforcing, between stricter laws and the privacy of people, which is like I don't think there's a contradiction between surveilling people and privacy. I mean, I don't know, like the whole point. I mean, the laws are per definition a contradiction against your privacy. I mean, they're a contradiction. They are opposed to your ability to do what you want. And in this case, I mean, my head explodes. I mean, how can you say something like that? What? Like, I will not accept it. What do you mean you will not accept it? This is not something you accept or don't accept. I mean, in what way? Like look at this as, look at what they're doing now. Well, so you should be able to read everyone's private information. You're like, well, I don't accept that has anything to do or is in any form a violation of your privacy. I don't accept that.
Accept the death, therefore I will live forever.
I don't accept this would contradict privacy. I don't accept it. I don't accept it. I substitute your reality with my own. That's her argument. Literally. This is the Swedish EU Parliament. I mean, this is unbelievable. And it's just, yeah. Now, all of this shit that the Pirate Party have been saying for a while now, when we were kind of joking about the fact that we were looking at US and we said, look at Earn It Act. Donald Trump, for all of you freedom, Donald Trump, they started an initiative called Earn It Act, which is essentially the same idea. So William Barr should be the one who decides, him and 19 other people should be the one who decides what sort of social media apps should exist and not. And they should also be able to have control, like this type of backdoor into all forms of encryption. It's a very, very, very sloppy way of explaining the Earn It Act. But it's similar. We're like, just wait, I'm sure this will come to Europe. Half jokingly, because it's pretty goddamn insane. Like, it's literally like, oh yeah, you just let the government put a camera on top of your bed. I mean, you have nothing to hide, don't you? You have nothing to hide. Do you sleep with children? Are you a sexual predator? Are you conducting illegal things in your bedroom? No, and so it's like, no, we're not going to use the data for anything else, of course. We're just going to ask all of these private companies who are going to install the camera there. All of these private companies are going to come there, and we will be sure that all of this data that we're going to gather about you is secure. Of course. Nothing bad can ever happen. And don't worry, by the way, all of these nationalistic parties that are taking over, they're never going to come for you, and they're never going to get in power. As long as we get to install all of these cameras, they're never going to be able to get into power. You see, that's how democracy works. This is your democracy. Don't you want to protect democracy and little children? Like, what the fuck? And then, like, I don't accept their argument against it. I don't accept your argument. I don't accept it. Like, what the fuck? Seriously. It's unbelievable that this situation is absolutely unbelievable. These are politicians that we Swedish people have voted in there. It's completely sickening to... All pro-surveillance say, I don't mind surveillance. I got nothing to hide. Yeah. I mean, you got nothing to hide now. I wonder if you, I don't know, maybe you're a little bit Jewish. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things about the law that isn't, the law, it's like this idea that the law is some form of fundamental good nature. It's some form of, it can't change. It can never be bad. It's not like your opinions. It's not like opinions have ever killed anyone. You are the ability to say whatever. It's just, this shit is unbelievable. And I can't stand people from the left who do not criticize this shit. It's just unbelievable to me. I can't stand anyone who doesn't criticize, but particularly people who should understand what this means. Like, who should be able to look at history and go, yeah, that wasn't good. I didn't go too well last time. No, they wouldn't let. It's incredible. And we know that this already happens, but the laws should be there to protect us from that to happen. It shouldn't be, yeah, we're going to ask these big companies to come into your home, install a camera, and that's it. And you should be happy because you have nothing to hide, don't you? You've got nothing to hide. And you go, no, I don't accept your argument. Next. Next argument. I don't accept that. What the fuck? Okay, Otto, I'm dying. God.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I'm so... This... I don't know. We're gonna go back to some copium from USA, but we have some good news. I thought we should let's break off with some for all of you nationalists out there. Bum bum ba-dum, ba-dum, wow. Countries that have been under European control. That's quite a lot. Great success. Next. Now that we should talk about this a little bit.
Corruption and fraud.
Yeah. And this is again Nicholas Peck's. Let's see. In the fall, the European Union published 2 major reports on offering a comprehensive overview of the state of play in corruption and fraud. We simply cannot allow European money to fund the Slovak mafia, Bulgarian oligarch, or Prime Minister Babi's unprofitable businesses. We should know the final result regarding this condition by the end of this year. Let's hope that Europe will find functional solutions, not just an empty statement that will never be used in practice. Again, like currently, I gotta say, like I think we absolutely need Europe. I don't think any country in Europe can actually really do a whole lot on their own. We need this. But the way that the European Union is moving right now is towards some form of semi-corrupt surveillance organization. It's pretty insane. And the things that they can unite on, because it's built in what I have to say is just, it's... Yeah, well, the things they can unite on, let's see, here we go, is things like EU should set goal to end homelessness by 2030. This can get passed. And now, I may make some jokes about this, but it's actually not all that bad, It has some teeth. It's not just, and, like in Sweden, no one, Morgan Johansson, no one should die. There will be no drugs in Sweden in 10 years, But, this at least kind of includes taking responsibility in tackling homelessness and working on prevention and early intervention, exchanging best practices with other member states, decriminalizing homelessness. So, providing equal access to public services such as healthcare, education, and social services. It's all a bit vague, but it has a little bit more teeth than it could have. At least asking countries to decriminalize homelessness, which is obviously a great way of not dealing with a problem at all. Improving measures to go.
Home.
Sorry.
Prison is a home.
Yeah, we kind of need homes, you know, which is kind of what they also say. I mean,
Prison is a home. Decriminalize it. No more homelessness. Put them all in jail.
problem solved. We have solved homelessness. Oh. Yeah. Implementing long-term community-based housing-led integrated national homelessness strategies, providing constant access to emergency shelters. I mean, this has become a big problem. I mean, not only because, I mean, it has been a problem for a while. And it's only going to get worse. I mean, and taking these issues seriously and not letting, next generation of European growing up in shelters without access to school or without any sort of possibility of actually becoming a part. It should be a strategy. We do not want, huge generations of people who can only live outside of the system, who's going to go in and out of jail. It's a huge loss. Which is why, criminalizing them is a great way of making sure that you are now having a constant criminal presence in your country. That doesn't have much choice. But still, I mean, these are the things. By the way, there were 13 people voting against it, which I think is kind of cool. But I mean, the things they can agree on, I don't know. What do you say? What are we going to do about this? I mean, it's just so much.
What can we do?
I mean, there's just so little we can do.
Politicians, we are voting for the wrong guys right now.
Yeah. There's just not a whole lot of time. And I mean, so many people, I mean, look at this even so. I mean, right now on PTVEU, we have 7 viewers, which kind of gives us an idea of how much people actually care about this shit. Like, to be honest, it tends to be the program that least people watch.
Yeah, but we need to increase it because it is important.
Yeah, I mean, of course it's important. I would say that at least, I mean, all of them are bots, Daniel Blixt. How many of them are bots? All of them. All of you are bots. Jesus. Go look at yourself in the mirror. But, I mean, I've programmed the bots pretty cleverly, and if they don't like a show, they'll just go. Unfortunately, I made them too good. They're like, fuck this. That's a boring show.
2 million bots. Out of them, 7 enjoy the show.
Yeah. But, I mean, it goes to show, I mean, the reach of the Pirate Party internationally has got to be horribly low. I mean, it's pathetic. I mean, because even this is, I guess, posted on some of their channels. And which means that, there's just not a whole lot of people following. Which is, I mean, it's so sad. And I honestly don't know what to do to raise that sort of awareness. Like, I have no clue. Because the reality is most people don't care. I mean, like, there's just too much things to care about on a national level. And this is the huge issue with the whole idea of a European Union in this way. Is that you can't, it's like asking people to say, oh, well, you go into a store, you need to be an informed consumer. What the fuck do I know? I mean, I can't do the research on everything. I mean, I'm trying to, I'm just, I'm busy enough just living my life. The fuck do you ask me to not only know everything about my own local politics, but my regional politics, my national politics, and now something else? I mean, the ask of people is insane. I think me personally, the whole thing needs to be redone. Because this shit isn't working. And the more I look at it and the more I see it, the more kind of clear. I mean, there's only so much you can ask of democratic citizens, right? It just is. Like, trying to get involved in all of these things that are happening in the European Union. I mean, it's insane. It's just not going to work. It's never going to work, which is always going to it's always going to make that type of structure we have right now into something more or less corrupt. In Sweden, we have to start to build a ton of apartments, but then the price for the current ones with huge mortgages will fall. Yeah, I mean, this is catch-22, right? I mean, as we've seen in the Corona crisis, and I think most European countries are like this, you'll see that the housing prices aren't dipping and the stock market aren't dipping. I mean, these are protected. This is where the printed shiny money goes to. If the upper middle class and the home owners start, if the house price start dropping, that's going to be a huge scare. So politicians will do almost anything, I believe, to protect that. I mean, these are when the house prices starts to crash seriously, like when we get some form of obvious type of inflation, then crash. But when they start fluctuating too much in any way, they're not gonna. That's bad. Who the hell is commenting fucking shit on our videos, man? And why can't I go there? I'm just getting like these notifications that people are there's bots posting on our YouTube. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. Some slightly better news. The nominal gross domestic product per capita is high in most of Europe, as you can see. Pretty good, goddamn high in Sweden. I'm not sure why it's so incredibly high in Ireland. Probably because Google and whatever, Facebook, who knows. It's interesting that we can, that we have so much money when we can't afford anything. Ha! But yeah, I mean, this is just, I don't know what to say, man. What do you think? We need to think about this. I think we need to have a PTV suggestion for how to solve this. Otto.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'm like, yeah.
I just feel like it's, yeah, it's a huge ask. I wonder how you would do it properly. I mean, I think maybe the whole idea of having a European Parliament is just not the way to do it. Like, I don't know. But I need to think about this. Because, I mean, also, like, after starting this and opening this and talking about this, you really start to get the understanding that these people can do pretty much whatever they want. Like, I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe in Germany and France, they're talking about this more and the press is a little bit more. But, I mean, there's no way you are going to be informed about what goes on in the European Union if you're a Swedish person. Like, it's just never going to happen. How many are homeless in EU countries? Good question.
God, I don't want to know.
Pictures? Let's see if we can get an infographic. But There's no way I can just go to this website. Right. Just view it. Right. I have to download it then. Hate doing this. Doesn't feel safe at all. It landed in my meme folder. How about this? How about that?
The universe is telling you stuffs.
It's telling us stuffs. Well, in Germany, 860,000. So across Europe, I would guess closer to 1 million. Sweden, whoop. It doesn't say if it goes up and down. Finland has done well with their strategy housing first. Criminalization, for instance, in Hungary. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Yeah. I mean, no matter how you view it, there's going to be people who choose in different ways to be homeless. I mean, these aren't the people that we care about, but people who are, for different reasons, forced to live outside of the system, who simply can't afford to be a part of the system, whose social network has failed them, and who it's such a loss every time you force someone to become a part of a criminal underworld, or force someone to live a life where they cannot not reach their full potential. It's such a waste. Maybe simple homes, yeah. We need to start to invest in rural development and get people out of the cities. Absolutely. I mean, and maybe hopefully the coronavirus may help a little bit, you know. With some luck, the companies aren't gonna, you know, as if you can work outside of your office, you know, hopefully they'll let you do it more and more, which would mean that the housing market could change. But I mean, at the same time, luckily we have a vaccine. Otherwise, I'm not sure. Like, it's hard to say. I'm not sure. This report is from 2018. Like, how the corona crisis has affected this, I have no idea. But like, the way that I mean, I just don't know. Well, and it's to a certain extent, it's just ridiculous. It's really quite incredible to see, particularly in the good parts. You know, like, I mean, I can understand that the Eastern Europe may still have some growing pains, but why it would increase to this extent in countries in the West, it's just unnecessary. Now, obviously, you have immigration, and that's going to lead to some of it, no doubt, you know. And it depends on how you measure things and all of these things. But this is not really a question about being able to afford stuff. It is really a question about priorities. As we are printing money to save big companies and big businesses, that, again, like happened last time, goes into stock buybacks and shit, goes into profit for the shareholders. We gotta wonder where the priorities are at the moment, you know. It's a long-term loss. It's a short. I mean, it's just it all comes down to a question of priorities. That's just how it is. Let's keep looking at the statistics. We need to start investing. Yeah. Hey, let me bring up my little chaturbate. Chaturbate. Here we go. Hope people know what chaturbate is. Let's look here. Otto, this is for you. Obesity rates in Europe, comparison of US states versus US states versus European countries in comments. I wonder how this has developed.
How do you mean developed? I mean, we were comfortable, we got fat.
Yeah, but I mean, Europe is still, compared to US, still pretty good. I'm wondering if it's like continuously getting worse. I haven't seen any reports on that, or are we kind of stabilizing on the numbers we are at?
Oh, we're just fucked.
We're just fucked. It's fine. But it's kind of cool to see that Europe, I mean, the difference here in Europe is like from, I mean, what's the lowest place in Italy? I mean, it's around 20%. The highest is Turkey at 32%, right? And the rest of Europe is kind of swimming between, 20 to 25%, most of it. It's just not huge. I mean, yeah, it doesn't. Does it sound like that much to you? Like I'd say I would suspect it to be more. Like the difference is to be bigger.
Yeah, but the thing is that I mean, I'm actually on like, when it comes to like the morbid obesity that you actually measure, I mean, I'm like on the edge of it. I should be far over on that scale.
You mean that people who are obese?
Or yeah, and the people that should be on the obese scale aren't.
Oh, okay. You think it may be a little bit too...
Yeah, our standards are a bit way off.
Yeah. We're just big boned, Hungary. No, you're just always hungry. Oh, they're funny. The Hungarian funny. Yeah. I mean, I have no idea how they calculate this, but I mean, it's pretty standard. It's the body mass index, right? I don't think this is...
The body mass, it's I mean, I should be way higher on that index than I am. Just saying.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can understand what you're saying. I mean, it's not all that individual. I mean, you could probably put it like that, right?
Yeah.
Depending on, you're gonna get... I think if you're short, it's kind of easier to become... I mean, and it should be easier to become overweight, right? But I'm not sure it hits really well, and people are just very different. But I wouldn't say... I mean, unless they've changed the way they measure it. I mean, the whole point is, as long as you have a stable measurement of what it is, you can track it over time, right? It really doesn't matter whether you catch everyone, whether you... I mean, if you define obese as a body mass index of over 30, right? Say that you do that, and the calculation is pretty simple. You can track that over time. And it should give you some form of value that you can use to measure whether that's, whether that means that it doesn't really tell you if every one of those are actually, whether this is going to become a health problem for them or not. I mean, it's so hard to say even. I mean, who knows? Like, some people are just, like their disposition is towards having just that sort of body, right? Just a lot more stocky people. Me, for instance, I'm always kind of thin, right? I mean, it's not easy for me to gain fat. But I mean, for some people who are kind of stocky, it's just like they may look obese, but that's just not. But anyway, I mean, it's kind of a different question, I guess. We need to start okay. I'm kind of, I don't have to read the same one again. I'm trying to get a better way to watch chat. Actually, at the same time, testing new stuff today. By the way, we have now set up so we can, you can if you get the right amount of if you donate the right amount of bits, you will call upon the meme lord to enter the stream. Yes, improvement. We are improving. And well, the eternal trip of the Brexit. I'm not sure. Do you know what it is?
No.
Never heard about it. Our amazing Ursula von der Leyen has at least stated that the European Commission cannot guarantee there will be a trade agreement with Britain. Adding that the bloc is now prepared for a no-deal Brexit. The next days we're going to be have you heard this before? The next days are going to be decisive. The European Union is well prepared for a no-deal scenario. I wonder if they themselves are like. Do you think they are like? Do you think they have like? I'm guessing they have like prepared state. They just send out the same statement. Well, I'm not redoing this. We've said this so many times. Just send whatever we sent the last time. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Vi vill se.
We will see. We will see. I don't think so. Actually, I'm gonna go in here, and there we go.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so, Ursula. Europe's most searched for relocation destinations. Here we go. And this is a question for you. Where would you like to relocate? Like, if you could choose a country in the world, where would you relocate to? Otto got some ideas?
I would move to Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. Okay, you're not a Swedish person, clearly. Danish. Wow. Most Danish people want to move to Norway. What the fuck? Most Norway people want to move to the States. What's wrong with you guys? It's Norway and Russia. They want to move to the States. Russia.
And Sweden and Finland wants to move to Spain. Well, Sweden has started already.
Yeah.
We got like Swedish almost towns in Spain by now.
Don says, I guess most likely Italy in my case, yeah. Hello, Tech Logic. What up? What up? We're figuring out where we want to move to. If we had to relocate, or if we wanted to relocate, where would you move? I'd move to Taiwan. Texas. Wow. Buberbiba. Where in Texas? If you move to Norway first, you will be in a country where most people want to move to, Texas, or USA. So
Hello.
you'd fit right in.
René is in the Discord, but I think he's server muted. I don't know by who.
Oh,
Do I dare to unmute him?
yeah, I can unmute him.
Okay, you did it.
Hello, René.
All right.
Now
There we go.
unmute.
Server muting, yes.
Yes.
Jag gissade på att jag hade den fina... do we speak English today?
Yeah.
Yes.
PTVEU, so yeah, it's English currently.
It's the English. It's the English.
The Swinglish.
Yes.
So what's the...
So as always, I'm curious, how sick are you?
Well, I'm as sick as usual.
Well, that doesn't say anything.
I think that says a lot. But anyway, I don't have any symptoms of corona and haven't had for 5 days now.
So kind of the last time when we on Friday is the last time we were at 36.5 degrees.
Yes, 36.5 isn't a very big fever.
You didn't even have to go to the ER. I'm so disappointed in this anticlimax.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was a bit of a disappointment. This case. I mean, there was no rush to the hospital. No me on life support equipment. Uto crying.
This is a disappointment.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. It was for me. It was just basically 1 week of very random fevers.
Yeah, I mean,
Really super random fevers.
I mean, look, honestly, Renee, when we send you out to do field research, we expect you to go just a little bit further than this. I mean, you're gonna have to, I mean, at least get to the front of the war, like the hospital or something. You gotta try again.
Yeah, no. At least I should call the doctor, right?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
TechLogic, of course you can join the Discord. If it gets too crowded, we'll kick you out.
Yeah, but I might start with Kringland.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get kicked out.
Server mute you. Yeah, no, but anyway, it's.
Yeah, we just server mute. I have no idea why you were server muted.
I do because I managed to left my phone close to the microphone and my timer was on. So it was probably playing a very annoying song.
All right.
Yeah, I remember. I think it was me actually. I'm gonna take credit for it.
No, it was a very correct decision.
Yeah.
But anyway, so to sort of summarize it, because I know you some guys have been worried about me. No, I haven't had any symptoms since Thursday evening.
Mm. Oh, that's good. I mean,
one reason why I was so adamant about giving you guys the daily updates is to show that for most people, I think I might have been a little more light off than the average person. My friends who caught it in France, they were sick a little bit more than me. They were sick for like 2 weeks. I was sick for like 1. But anyway, it's not that scary disease for the absolute majority out there.
Mm.
It's like a common cold. That doesn't mean that you should sort of take it lightly, but I think that you should not believe that this is the Black Death that is sort of coming in a 2020 version, because it's not.
No, I mean
it's not even close to the Spanish flu that was here 100 years ago.
You mean the American flu, right?
The Kansas flu.
We call it the Spanish flu, although we probably think it originated in China.
Of course it does.
No, it's from America.
It's verified first in America.
Okay. I'm still gonna call it the American flu or the Trump flu, for the lulz of it.
Yeah, what you gotta make sure is that you don't verify viruses wherever.
It's a bit of an exaggeration, because I think there wasn't a person called Trump at that time. I think his family was called something completely different.
No, but Trump wanted to call it the China flu.
The Wuhan flu.
Yeah, that was. I mean, wow.
Well, it's
can't believe I'm there for trying.
War of words, right? And it's a war of perceptions. I'm not sure where I stand when it comes to this aspect of the virus. I think it's pretty bad the way it has spread on across the globe, and I think it has hurt a lot of people, a lot more people than just the people who got sick. I think a lot of people have gotten their life turned upside down, or at least stopped in midair. A lot of people have gotten their life toils destroyed. I think the Chinese Communist Party definitely contributed to the fact that it got loose with their very special way of handling it in the beginning. I also believe that all democracies failed, possibly with the exception of South Korea. And if you like to call Taiwan a democracy, then Taiwan as well. I think that they made a pretty good job. But the Western democracies, without an exception, failed completely when it comes to this virus.
Tack så sjukt mycket, Blixt. Thank you so much, Blix, for your kind donation, man. $10 to the cause, which means that we are getting incredibly close to a remake of Otto's Cringe Rap.
Fuck.
I mean, that almost doubles the amount of money we get, right? So
yeah, we're rich. We doubled.
So, but I think I also need to say a few words since I'm here and philosophizing. Perhaps the most important number to come out of this flu is 19,068. Yeah, you heard me. 19,068.
Wait, Vanessa, would it curb your enthusiasm? Yeah, I forgot which one is what.
That's the Bitcoin price today, right now.
19,068.
Nice, that's good. Noise.
A little bit from earlier today when it was at 19,300. You heard me correct.
Yeah.
9,000. We are millimeters away from parity.
Yeah.
Within a week, we're probably gonna break the 20,000 mark.
It would be nice.
It is very big. This is for humanity. This is definitely a milestone because that means we're back where we were around 2017 early.
Yep.
Which means that if this trend continues, we're gonna have a fantastic year in crypto next year, and that's gonna leave spooks like Janet Yellen, the new finance minister of the United States of America, humbled, I hope.
That's true.
Because she has been the money printing bitch. Sorry, not bitch, witch.
I said witch. I said witch!
For very, very many years. And her policy going into this crisis is, I'm going to print money until you all drown.
Yep.
Sounds like Elon Musk.
Sorry?
Sounds like Elon Musk. Have you watched the stocks lately?
I wasn't aware that Elon Musk was operating his own printing press, but...
He has his own printing press. You mean they're making more... What are they making more stonks?
Yeah. Holy fuck.
All right.
Anyway, the sobering thought here is that if we're lucky, this cycle is going to really affect the world economy in the sense that $1 million coin could be sold within the next 24 months. Now, that should be humbling anybody, right? Because that means that when you invested for $10 in one Bitcoin a few years back, you're now a Bitcoin millionaire in dollars, not in SEK.
Yeah, it's quite unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully, it's a big fuck you to all the people in charge who think that they can actually influence anything. Because if you look at the, I'm sorry if I'm ranting here, but if you look at what actually is, I've been looking through that team setup, if you like, that the President-elect Joe Biden is presenting to us. I would say it's almost like looking through Madame Tussauds horror cabinet. This is really the American government that you could possibly find in the Twilight Zone. You put Janet Yellen, the money printing witch, in charge of finances. You know what that's going to mean for you. And then you put a foreign minister there who has been pro and been sort of yelling for blood in every major conflict that's been out there. We're talking Iraq. We're talking Syria. We're talking Libya. Everywhere he wanted to have American boots on the ground and American bombs from the air. So, you have one crazy person behind the printing press and another one in the bomber's bay. And then you're going to put John Kerry as this evangelist of global warming to make sure that he completes the deindustrialization process of the Western world. Right? So it's going to make us all move back into the cave. No, I think we can really dread the effects of the incoming administration.
I thought it was just going to sell it to the Chinese.
So what?
Everything.
No, I mean the Chinese are not interested in buying. The Chinese, they're industrialists. They build great technology and they build great products. That's what they do, and they outcompete us at every single level right now.
That's what I
Why
meant.
they have a stake in the Swedish subway system. Ah, okay.
They're selling the production. He's selling out the American people to China.
Yeah. I mean, Trump. I'm not saying that he did everything right.
You say? You mean?
He did the majority of things right.
Okay.
But I can tell you one thing: his China policy was at least not a complete disaster.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can tell you that's we will have probably on the Swedish one. We will specifically once the cabinet is completely set. This is going to be a huge thing going forward. Because I kind of agree with you. I mean, right now Biden is the from what we've heard and seen so far, you're kind of gathering the, let's just say, the most neocon, corporatist, neoliberal, Wall Street type people you can. But yeah, I mean, it's but we can predict that until the cabinet is set. We'll see.
I'm waiting for is to have a national disaster like Bernie Sanders in charge of labor. Then you're basically complete.
Yes, of course. Bernie Sanders is a disaster. Trump is good. I mean,
let me put it this way, right? I mean, I like a lot of things Bernie says.
Yes.
But I put him in charge of labor. Really? I mean,
he lost me in the second.
Rants is perfect. He really knows how to stick it to the big banks, but that's not where he's going to be put. He's going to be put in charge of labor. That's probably the policy where he's the most damaging.
I don't think so, but I don't think he should take a part of it at all. You know, this is the big problem here. There's very little he can even do there, and he's going to be surrounded. I mean, it's just pointless. It's just this signaling. It's a signal as some form of, okay, well, thank you for helping out, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, but understand this. Bernie Sanders has some very good ideas, and he has some really, really crappy ones. Now, you're going to put them in, give him in the portfolio where he really can destroy as much as possible, because
putting him in charge of labor is like giving all the crybabies of the factories like the thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. So you have one guy who is sort of de-industrializing the West, and he's going to lead the charge for de-industrializing the West. Because, I mean, make no mistakes. You put John Kerry in charge of global warming. I mean, America is going to be in the lead when it comes to deindustrializations. Now, don't expect the EU leaders, at least with a few exceptions. I'm still hoping that the Czechs are going to deliver next year and really give us a pirate government. And I hope that they are going to be courageous enough to actually stand up to this bullshit. I'm going to at least make my damnedest to make sure that they know it.
I think we should just pull out.
Yeah, but of course. But understand that the majority of the EU leaders out there are going to be trying to outdo Kerry in deindustrializing their own nation. It's going to be very, very painful to watch. And then you put Bernie Sanders in charge of labor.
All hail oil. What are you trying to say? What's your point?
That's not what he's saying, dude.
I mean, what is it like? I mean, don't you seriously think that there's a possibility to go another way? There's more than one industry, you know? Like, I do not think that we will do the right thing here. I don't think that Biden will do the right thing. I definitely don't trust the EU to do the right thing either. I want to be clear on that. But, I mean, then in some way, we're going to have to move forward, right? And it's going to also happen. It cannot happen without any form of regulation. It's just not going to happen. I think you actually do have to do I think the government has a role to fill here.
Government has a role to fill where?
I think the government has a role to fill in the transition, at least as it's looking right now.
Transition?
No. The only thing the government is good at is slowing things down.
Where are you transitioning?
In moving from, for instance, from coal and that sort of things, moving from fracking, moving away from that sort of currently quite backwards way of thinking.
Genius things with fracking?
Sorry?
Do you understand the genius thing with fracking?
Tell me.
Thanks to fracking, the United States have managed to avoid national bankruptcy. That's full stop.
Avoiding bankruptcy is not something good. Avoiding bankruptcy is...
Believe me, a national bankruptcy is usually not something good. At least it usually is the beginning of something really, really bad.
Yeah, but usually you have to... I mean...
I don't know. I mean, that's obviously bad. But
yeah, but the thing is that it's not an obvious good for something to avoid bankruptcy. I mean, just because it made it avoid... I mean, state murder could avoid bankruptcy. I mean, slay all the poor people. Is that necessarily a good thing?
It could be...
With fracking, America is creating its own energy again.
Yeah, by destroying the planet.
No. Fracking,
they only destroy the water supplies in those local places.
Yeah.
First of all,
bad.
The so-called water supply damage is, I mean,
it's very local.
It's super localized. It's so localized that you have to put it on YouTube to make people aware of it, right? The environmental impact of fracking is actually minimal. It is minimal compared to a lot of other things, like, for instance, say mining copper. Super minimal. Nobody here is arguing that we should stop mining copper, right?
I could if you wanted me to.
I'm sure you could, but I mean, or any other natural resource. I mean, agriculture, for fuck's sake. Have you seen the impact of agriculture on the environment?
Mm-hmm.
People still like that food, don't they? Well, people still don't like to freeze in the winter as well. So fracking has almost completely saved the American economy. If it wasn't for fracking, America would now be in the same state as Greece. And that's not a very healthy place for a nuclear superpower. You know, when you stop paying your troops, not good. They're gonna get paid anyway, but in a different way. So fracking has saved and given America a grace of 15 to 20 years, where they can actually remodel their economy to something that's actually profitable. Not that they have been using it very well, but at least they have this respite, right? So you have this wound, and you have now bandaged. So you're not bleeding to death right now. You can get to a hospital and try to get it fixed.
Hospital, you say?
Sit home, smoke weed. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, you could, of course, sit home, continue smoking weed, and then you're going to bleed in 20 years. Fine, but at least you have that bandage right now. Now, what Biden and these idiots are proposing is that you're going to pull that bandage off, so the bleeding is going to start again. Not only that, you put Yellen in charge. Woohoo! So You're actually, you not only are you ripping off the bandage so the blood is going to start flowing out, you're even taking blood pressure increasing medicine. So the bleeding is really going to go.
Clip.
Okay.
Okay, all right. End this endless rant. The thing is like this. What I wanna do.
Listen, I'm gonna go away for a while so that you can rant all you want to that Christian.
Yeah,
I'm
just like
make the deficit.
Like if there's something we have talked about for so long now and all the time. I mean, no one is happy about this Biden administration, and we will for sure talk a lot about it, and we will criticize it to death. I'm 100% sure. That's just a fact, right? And it's gonna come. But I do want to wait a little bit, at least until we have we know the cabinet members and we know exactly what's gonna happen. And right now, even though yes, it's probably gonna be like that, it's still kind of speculation. So we can wait with the continued doom scrolling here for a little while. We will have like plenty of time to do it. And because like what we've said before, I mean, to a certain extent, like we have enough doom in Europe for PTVEU, at least.
No,
we don't have to do too much USA. To be honest, I'm just so tired of it after this election as well. I'm just like, oh my god, I need a break. The break from the States. We were actually, and because we've been going through some European news, and we can talk about that. I also gotta be honest. We are gonna go in. I have to leave in about 5 minutes because we're gonna talk. We're gonna start prepare for the next show, which is varning för arbetsförmedlingen.
Oh.
So I don't really want to get, but yes. With that said, we will have this, and I think the general energy discussion. That's something we need to do, particularly on our. We can definitely do it on our Swedish. What we think would be a good strategy forward. Because
actually, I'm quite happy that we're doing this in English because I think that the audience should be a bit wider than just our little group here. I think the pirate movement needs to start discussing exactly what's wrong with our current economical policy so we can start fixing things because nobody else is doing it.
No, I completely agree with you. I mean, there needs to be a wider kind of subset of ideas. And I mean, if you look at Finland and other places where the Greens kind of have eaten the pirates, that's because they at least have some form of idea for it. And you can criticize it, you can say what, but you really gotta say something about it, right? I mean, it's an important question, no matter how you look at it or how you turn it, and what no matter whether you believe that the government has a place to fill, or you don't, right? You can at least there needs to be some form of clarity. Okay, how are we going to do it?
My biggest hope is that the Czech pirates are going to be able to deliver on an economic policy that is totally different from the rest of the Europe. To go out there and say innovation is important, we need to have more innovation, we need to have more industry, we need to have more factories, we need to have more entrepreneurs. And we're going to enable these people to actually be able to do their job instead of government coming out and handing out subsidies. It's so simple to do. Most of the important reforms here don't have to cost money. They don't have to be like massive subsidy programs. No. Just make sure that you enable a healthy environment for entrepreneurs to thrive. Like debureaucratize and make sure that industry can go. And make sure that you get rid of vampires out there like these mega corporations that are striving growth.
Mm. I mean, I feel like that's a fundamental thing. And there's so many things to discuss also about, how are we actually treating new companies today? What are the strategies that they use to grow, and in what way are they actually hindering the market? Like, what are the glass ceilings for companies, and how come they don't grow as big as they used to? What is limiting on a market? Because it's obviously regulations can be a part of that, and also the private market. I mean, like you said, the big dragons out there. I mean, how is this functioning, and how is the global economy helping local businesses to grow, or in many cases, how is that, you know, kind of counterproductive?
For instance, make sure that a local Czech company can run on cryptocurrencies, no problem. And that they would accept taxes in cryptocurrencies. I mean, that doesn't cost you anything. It just makes society more efficient. And suddenly, you're going to have attention from the big banks, I can assure you.
Yeah.
That country is going to be on their fucking radar. And then you can start saying things like, you know, we might perhaps not pursue copyright infringement so very, very thoroughly in this country. Or at all. So we don't basically care if people innovate. If you come here, you can innovate. We're not gonna put you in jail. And stop misbehaving a little bit, you know, to see if you can get some kind of new thing going, so that Europe can get back to where it used to be, you know, where there were like lots of inventors who are driving crazy ideas, making life important for people, like say the invention of electricity or the steam engine or the railroad. These were inventions invented by small entrepreneurs who really changed the world. There wasn't any big government behind that.
No, there isn't any big government, but there was also, like, you could say there wasn't, like, I mean, it's important to see also there wasn't these dragons kind of eating them up, buying them out, putting them down.
No.
And that's one of the most important things to see here, and one really important thing to consider is that, you know, and that's one place where I believe the government has a role to play, is to make sure that there is. You don't get that form of stale type of companies, because at a certain point, when you control enough of the market, innovation just isn't beneficial for you anymore. That's not the way to increase profits.
And also make sure that you start ending very quickly the surveillance state. You start enacting laws which prevent government spying. And you close down government agencies that commit government spying. And you start, I mean, as I said, most of these things are pretty easy. And I'm quite sure that once people once again start feeling that dreadful freedom to do something in their lives and feel the responsibility to do something good with their life instead of waiting for the next government handout, you're going to see a society where the means of wealth of the average citizen starts increasing. It might not even be monetary wealth, but at least they're going to feel that their life has gotten better.
We missed a point here with companies who has a product and then stops innovating because it doesn't creating more profits. Because that is the start of the descent of the company. Because look at Microsoft, they had a great product and then they stopped innovating and instead just hired more salespeople to increase profit more. And then Microsoft starts to decline. Like, that's the logical end of the company.
Oh yeah, so that's why you need another company to take over.
Exactly. Then you need competition.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this is a fundamental error in thought here. I mean, these type of companies, once you are once there are just a few companies left and they control large enough shares, they have all the capacity to buy competitors. They have they have the capacity to influence policy. They have capacity to stay and kill innovation. And they don't need innovation. I mean, it's not in the business. If you're going to increase profit, it's not in your interest to do that. In your interest is to do exactly what these biggest companies, what the large corporations are doing on this market, a lot of them. And this is across a lot of different fields. I mean, it's a logical thing to do. You do not want to disturb a market where you are, comfortably controlling a large share of the market and providing a big profit. The best way to increase profit is to cut costs at that point.
Yeah, but you can't just destroy competition by buying them out forever, because like you can buy an idea, but you can't buy innovation.
You don't have to. You don't have to necessarily buy them out. There are so many different strategies. You can just sue them to hell. I mean, this is a pretty effective way. You have a lot of patents, and you keep suing them.
Faulty laws.
Sorry?
It all comes back to due to faulty laws.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously. I mean, but you will. There is no argument there, right? But as long as you have any form of government, they will enact some form of laws, you know? And it doesn't really matter whether these are laws or not. Look, if you would have a completely free market, things like this would still be able to happen. Currently, unfortunately, we have governments who are enabling these companies to do this through different various laws. I mean, they're corporatists. You have, you know, the government and the capital are really close to each other, but that's not necessarily strange. You know, when you're making that much money, the best way, what you can, if you spend just a little bit of that money on lobbying politicians, that can increase your profit, you know, tenfold. Like, I mean, you're getting to a power where you can, where that's just more profitable, and controlling the market is more important than trying to outdo yourself. And it's not really something new. It's this is like and I think it's worth to see that the market itself is not there's no law that says that whoever is the best at doing whatever the customer wants is necessarily the one that is the most profitable, because you start having a little bit, you get extremely idealistic in your view of the market. Now I believe, and I think the market is an important, obviously important, fundamental, right? But I don't think that I think there's a problem when you watch it with that form of naivete, right? That it's always going to sort itself out. That's not necessarily true. We have to make sure that we give it the best possible, ground to grow in, and that's something that we have to do from some form of policy standpoint. I think minimal policies, minimal, right? But you still have to once in a while make sure that it's actually working towards the best of the general public, to work towards the best for whatever nation state you happen to be a part of as well. That was a lot about that. Now I'm ranting. That wasn't the point.
You're treading down a dangerous path when you have a goal to do good in the world.
Yeah, exactly. The problem is that, I don't mind people having more compass. The problem is that you are playing God when you're not. That is the danger that I see. And the great thing with the bazaar, I think just to provoke you guys to make sure, because sometimes you look at me as this sort of right-wing Trumpist, right? Now I'm going to use the word bazaar so you can hear me use the GPL terminologies. The great thing with the bazaar versus the cathedral is that in the bazaar anybody can be better. Anybody is allowed to be an inspiration to somebody else. In the cathedral, it's only the Pope. It's only the Pope that can be better. In the bazaar,
I'm not sure how it's relevant. Like, what are you comparing to?
Because the problem is that once you put government in charge, you are putting somebody in charge to say that I am going to be smart, I'm going to fix this for all of you.
Who is saying that it necessarily have to be a government in charge? Look...
No, any authority. Any authority that is not self-selected.
But if you have like, just let's create a market here. Do whatever the fuck you want. The strongest survives. What? Like, if you play the game of life, what ends up happening is pretty. You tell me the companies that goes like, oh, I'm gonna have competition, and applaud all the competition. That's great. Finally, that means that we have to innovate. I mean, it's just not really how the market currently functions. Now, I actually believe that you can set it up so that it works in those ways, but you kind of have to set it up.
Can I give you a few examples, just to sort of entice you? Because
I
did not come up with my extremist views out of thin air. I came up with it by working as a professional 25, almost 30 years. Because I started out in the PC market. That was where I started. As a young kid, I started making computers for other people. And I found out that I could buy components, and I could, with my own screwdriver, make computers to other people. I was part of the industry, the PC industry. And me, as a small entrepreneur, I was competing against IBM. And I was delivering a better product to the market than IBM, and I was getting customers. And if you look at the way the innovation has been in the PC market, I think most people would agree that the PC have gotten slightly better over the last 30 years. Yeah. And
cheaper.
And yeah, a tad cheaper. I mean, I bought my first one for what was a summer work wage. So it was around 20,000. Today, I mean, I don't even spend 20,000 on the computer. And my new computer that I'm planning to buy is going to be roughly around 20,000, possibly a bit more. But it's going to have at least 1,000, if not more, power than the one I bought in 1994. When I started my business.
All right, I have to prepare for the rest of the show, so please come to the point a little bit fast.
I'm just giving you a market that has had innovation and strife and competition, and it has resulted in extreme amount of good that has been created to the user.
Now compare it to the health system and to the.
But I mean, I don't know who you're arguing against. I mean, this is my point. Like, who I don't see what I'm saying that makes you think that. Like, I just don't understand.
Is that there was no regulation whatsoever in that market? None.
Okay, there's no regulation in the PC market. Okay, well, whatever. Point is, I gotta go. But this is an interesting discussion, and we gotta take it. The reason why I'm trying to cut this, why I also tried to get it out earlier, is that we definitely will take it. But now is not the time, unfortunately, because I have to run and prepare for Arbetsförmedlingen.
Okay.
Which is going live soon. So yes, thank you to everyone who's been watching. We will be live again in just 20 minutes with a focus on Arbetsförmedlingen in Sweden and in Swedish. Puss på er, as we say in Swedish, and I'll talk to you then.
See ya.
PTVEU, oberoende, piratistisk media, skapad och finansierad av tittarna.
Kuken ute. Nej, stoppa in den igen, Miss Midget, är du snäll.
Entering orbit, final destination. Reaching the peak of a life of preparation. Stellar, the static, it's distortion. As you control my actions in third person.
tillräcklig grad lyckats bryta det ekonomiska fåtalsväldet.
Jag tror att om man ska företräda hela det svenska samhället, då är det viktigt att man i första hand ställer sig på de sämre ställda gruppernas sida. Det är de som i första hand behöver samhällets stöd. Det är de som i första hand är intresserade av samhällets förändring. Och jag tror att solidaritetskänslan i det svenska samhället är och kommer att bli så stark att det går att få alla samhällsgruppers stöd.